Hey Luke, hi.
Hi Jarek.
I'm here with you on the 40th year of your company. How old are you?
Me personally, I'm 51, but when I was 11, the company was incorporated by Neville Fay. And so this year we're 40 years old, or 40 years young, so we're pretty much almost adult now.
It's a great party last night. Thank you for inviting me. So can you tell us what we experienced last night? What was there about?
Oh, it was a fabulous party, and Jarek, thank you so much for coming and bringing your daughter to have fun, because we had a bouncy castle for all the children and for you, of course, Jarek, and I'm glad you made good use of it. We planted 9 trees at Yeo Valley Farm. We planted black poplar, native black poplar, which is an important species in England. We also planted field maple and oak and rowan as well in the field margins around there. And I put them on Treezilla, so you can go on Treezilla and you can see the trees. All of our team came and all of our team got involved in planting. Claire and Simon, who have expertise in soil, specified how the trees would be, how the soil and roots would be treated, and someone brought compost tea as well. Andy and our team chose the species with Yeo Valley so that they were appropriate to the location. And what we did was we brought everyone from our team and their families, so because people's families really enable them to be part of everything that we do. And so we were able to properly celebrate everybody from Treework and also from our past within the party. It's just really moving.
How big is your company? How many people work in Treework?
There's 18 of us at the moment. It's always in flux. People are coming, people are going, you know. We have 7 consultants plus Neville and I working, and we've been home working since 2010, and so our people are spread right across the UK, and it's something that's worked really well for us. I'm really proud that our consultants are considered some of the best in the UK and really do some amazing work.
In which area of consultancy do you orientate the company now?
Well, it's based on the demand that we have. It's around about almost 43% of our demand is to support design, planning, construction. 37% around is to support landowners who are managing their trees for public safety. And then on top of that, we have veteran tree surveys and management and support that we do. We do static load testing. We have some expert witnesses who are qualified as expert witnesses in our team who provide those services. Then we do soils and supporting, particularly in historic landscapes where trees are suffering, coming up with approaches to support those trees to thrive again.
And if we want to study your company, where can we find you on the internet?
So Treeworks with an S, treeworks.co.uk. And our website is there, but you can also follow us on LinkedIn and follow me on LinkedIn. And I'm constantly having good ideas on there.
Neville, you are one of the legends of the industry. You were the first guy who visited Czech Republic and explained us something about veteran trees.
All those many years ago.
How do you recall?
How do I recall? I recall it was a lovely experience. We first met at the arboricultural conference. 22 years. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm not very good on the numbers. I leave that to you. So we met at the Arboricultural Association conference, and then at Kiel. Yeah. Irk was there too, and then you invited me to come to Czech Republic, and I met with what I thought were very powerfully committed arborists who were learning in a new way after the communist era and looking keen to professionalise. And some had been to the States. I thought some people had very good English, like you, Jarek. And there was a mixed response. So I was talking about the importance of decay in the life cycle of the tree and our experience from particularly, the British soil, British lands, of the great number of ancient trees. And the Ancient Tree Forum was new then, and I was the chairman of that in his first days. And we were still gaining confidence in our knowledge and learning. Somebody was translating, and I realized that as I was describing the innovation in pruning and management of trees from the viewpoint of the ancient tree, and then translating that to the mature the growing tree, the maturing tree, and the mature tree, that the translation wasn't being honoured, even though I couldn't understand the Czech language. And I asked what was really being said, and I was being told it wasn't Shigo. So I appreciated this. And then we had some interesting presentations, one from Martin Nemetz. And he was showing how, with pride, he was standing beside a tree with bricks inside it and concrete. I whispered to you, I think, Jarek, that it was vandalism, but I think I said it too loud and there were reactions. But anyway, then we went to look at trees that had been managed, and there's a great history in the Czech Republic that had gone through the communist period to the new period of conservation of trees, innovation, protection of cavities with using lead roofs and wooden roofs, cabling, and all sorts of things, which I now call, it's arboricultural archaeology. It's not a bad thing, it's a great thing that everyone's been trying and committed to do it because they value the importance of trees. So that was my first experience, and it was made a beautiful experience thanks to Mr. Galajic.
And how do you remember the development of Asian Tree Forum itself?
Well, I think I might have said, if we learn from our mistakes and we admit to our mistakes, it's a great learning, and we can learn together. My first mistake was having the privilege to work on a community of ancient oak trees not very far from Bristol, in a landscape that was recorded in what we call the Doomsday Book from 1086. But these trees were probably 600 years old, and they were 220, and we had thinned the competition, and then many of them died as we recorded in the next 4 or 5 years. And we learned from that. That's me in my practice at the time. We learned from that we have to go very slowly with the older tree, whether it's bringing light to it or whether it's reducing the weight or load, and so on. And it was in that cauldron of experience that people came to visit the site and criticize it. And then we learnt together and formed the Ancient Tree Forum in a more learning way on a wider basis. And the Ancient Tree Forum has been a real, then it was new, everything was new. And because Shigo had a great man with great ideas and a wonderful way of looking at trees, he had created, if you like, the practical basis, or the basis for practice based on scientific observation, not necessarily scientific evidence, but observation. And that was what was used for the conventional period. So the Ancient Tree Forum was then introducing new ideas, which were to do with what I would call slow arboriculture, and the working with the hormone system of the tree, the way different units in an ancient tree, post-mature tree, where the different units have different levels of independence. And so we can't have this global idea of do one thing or whatever. And it's a long-term process. And then, of course, the biggest thing is the soil and the rooting system. And that's, ever since then, the last 20 years, is the big area that my practice have been working with in both sides. That's the pruning, management, understanding, and also I had produced with colleague Nigel de Burke the specialist survey method, which was the first time that arboriculture could then categorise and look at the tree as habitat, and categorise all those different types of habitat, and work with that as the tree as an ecosystem. So this is the beginning of this thinking, which is now almost mainstream.